Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again today. We are still moving on with our Heritage Journal, and as you know, repeated every week. It's inspired by my parents' era. They were born, my father 1938, my mother the 40s. So everything in this little book is reminiscent of our heritage, along with the pulp culture, and historical buildings and events, those kind of things. So last week I was working on the art pages. We did some portfolios of some artists that inspired my art career and some of their recognized paintings from the 1940s. So this week what we're going to do is we are going to be creating some pages representing the fashion from the 40s. And I loved this. I found this one online, and it has like a little clip of the entire decade. So a little clip of the fashion from 1940 to 1949. And then I was able to find this one for menswear, and it's this old clipping, and I got a kick out of it because can you believe, okay, so this is from 1938 because that's the year my dad was born, that a complete suit ranged from $2.85 to $8.95. That was a suit. So I got a kick out of that. I thought, oh my gosh, that's like you can get a little mini meal or something for that, or a bottle of kombucha. I don't know. It's like it I get a kick out of it. So anyways, what I'm going to do is on this side I'm going to create almost like a fold out booklet. So we're going to have the image folded over here, and then we're going to do a little bit of a collage on this side. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, so here's a good example if you've got something horizontal and you want to fit it into the page of a journal. So I'm just going to fold it in 3 sections, like a little booklet. So 1, and then we're going to fold it over again, like so. Oops, I didn't fold it very straight. Let me just try this again. Okay, so I've got 2 folds. So this part is going to be glued down in the book. And so what we want to do is, put something interesting on the front cover of it, and then on this cover when you open it up. And as I've been going through this journal, I've been putting pieces of masking tape with like written clippings on it. And I want to keep the direction of that. But what you can do is you can always put some information here if you wanted to make a note. Or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put an image on it. So let me make sure that my journal's facing upright. So let's do that first. So I've got some vintage little pieces that you may have seen me working with, because I use some of this for the cover of my book and the back of my book. So, and I just printed it over on my eco-dyed paper, so it looks a little old. But I like this because this is literally, it represents fashion. It's got like, style is a simple way of saying complicated things. I thought that's so cute. And then it's got a little clipping here that says standard fashion. So I am going to make sure I cut it so that I've got that little clipping that has the quote about the style, and then one about the fashion, because that's what the contents of this little pamphlet is about. I thought it's completely appropriate. So I'll just tear that there, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do just to make it a little different from the back. And I think I will just leave it hanging over a bit, because if it folds in this way, it's okay if it's over a bit. Let me make sure it fits. Well, I'll probably have to cut a little bit. So let me just trim a little bit off here. The cover. Oh, I've got the wrong cover here. Okay, so that'll be the cover. But what I wanted to do was to tear this part out that has the boot, the little high cut boot right here, and just paste it over that blank spot. So don't be afraid to, you know, change up something that you've printed to make it a little bit different, like pasting other pieces on top, just like a collage. And you can always just collage a cover too. I'm just going simple here. So we'll get this on top. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this on the cover. I love using my Eco Dye paper to print images on, especially black and white. And it really just kind of takes it to a whole new level. Okay, so we'll get this on the cover. Making just like a little mini zine is what we're doing. Okay, so there's the cover. And then on the back part, I've got, this was one of my little oopsies. So this is vellum paper, and I was trying to do a transfer. Remember when I was making these little embellishments, and I had Mod Podged it on, but when I went to peel it off, the image just peeled off back onto the vellum, and because my glass had texture, it just put a plastic film over it with that texture. So that's the dried glue, and I knew I wanted to use it for something, so I'm going to do like a little bit of a layered effect here. So I've got another little piece, just, you know, it's little French, like I think it's like a little perfume or something, eau de cologne. So I'm going to put that down, and then I'm going to do the vellum on top. So there's just a little piece here that I got to cut off. So I'm just kind of layering. Just want to make sure. Okay. So we'll get that glued down. Again, I'm forgetting to use my paper underneath. Okay, so I've got that down. And then I'm going to get the vellum on top, and it's going to layer it. So it's going to go over the image a bit, which is what I want. But I do have to cut it down to size here. So let me just get it on top here. Or do I want it over? No, I think that's good. This is a really easy way of trimming your paper. You can see exactly what's underneath and what size you need to cut it. Okay. And it's okay that that went off the corner a bit. I'm cool with that. In fact, I think what I'm going to do, just for a little added something, is I'm going to take some of my antique wax and just do that corner a bit. so that when this goes over that torn piece, you'll see the antique part of it. And look how that just elevates it just a little bit more, a wee bit more. Okay, so get this glued, whoops, glued down. Okay, so there's the back cover and the front cover. And then when she opens it up, you get the style for that year. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off the back here because it's sticking out. Okay. How cute is that? So then that's ready just to glue right into the booklet. So that's going to be on that side. And then we're going to have menswear on the other side. So I'm just going to actually collage that page. And I've got a little bit of wording here, which is some French words too. Fabrique spéciale de cordon de montre. So that is completely relevant to fashion because they're talking about some fabrics. And I'm going to cut a piece to go on the top of it, and then I will antique it a little bit more, but let me just measure how big I need to make it. Okay, so that'll go there. And then the fashion, although it is not Paris fashion, it is American fashion, but that's all good. I do need to trim it just a bit though. Okay, let's see. And that will go there. I've got it on my eco-dyed paper, but it is still a little crisp. I'm just going to get my Distress sepia here so I could antique it a bit. Get my sponge. Age it up. Get the edges nice and gunky. Okay, that looks much better. More appropriate for that. And I think I'm going to leave, well, maybe I'll do, okay, I'm going to do a little bit just on, I'm like, oh, do I want to age this up? I'll just kind of age the spine up a bit, but I don't want it, you know, too vintage. Maybe just where the fold is. I think that makes a big difference. And then I'll leave it on the inside. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's plenty. Don't you agree? I don't want to do too much because I don't want it to look the same, and then it'll complement over here as well. Okay, so I'm going to get that all glued in. Let's start with this one. Oops. Whoa. Get that down. Perfect. That looks really good. And then I'm going to get this one down at the bottom because I'm going to leave, of course, some room at the top for my masking tape headlines. This turned out really good. So I'm pleased with this. And look how cute that is. So we've got a little book. This is the women's fashion from the whole decade, the 1940s. And fold it up. And then you've got the men's fashion. It's like a catalog, vintage catalog. So let me get, of course, my masking tape so I could put a couple little tags here. I've got a little bit of this gold left on my finger. I don't know if it's going to come through, but there, mucked it up a bit. I like how these are my fingerprints with some of that wax on it. So it kind of aged the tape a little bit better and it kind of pops out. I like that. And then of course get my pen and write men's and women's fashion from 1940s. And that's our page for today. Turned out pretty nice. We've got a little booklet that folds out. So just keep in mind when you're working with, you know, long kind of panoramic images that there's all kinds of ways that you can incorporate them in the book by just different folds. You can do accordion folds or just this pamphlet fold. And just recapping, you know, the little portfolio folds we made last week. And then at the beginning of the book, I had done these folds with the images so that, you know, when it's closed, you still get the image in there. It's like a portion of it. So there's all kinds of different folds that you can use in your art journal. And we're really coming along with this heritage journal. I still have a couple more pages in the back of this signature. And then we have a whole nother signature in the back. It is like an accordion style. And in each fold we did a signature. And then this fits right into the cover, which I haven't completed yet. But this is an old phone case that I repurposed, and it's going to close nicely in there. And that's my journal, little heritage journal with my parents' wedding photo on the front. So little heirlooms. Hope you guys are enjoying this type of journal style with me, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching, guys.